Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we are back again with the last election that took place on Sunday, May 18th, and that is the Polish presidential election. The election has gone to a second round with of course, what's needed to win the election 50%. None of the candidates were able to reach that threshold. As we kind of knew that would happen because you have just so many candidates, so many polls. But ultimately, we got our results right in front of us for the first round, and you'll see Poland is a unique country because just like I would say Portugal, because Portugal in the Portuguese election very unique, the right wing parties took over. In this election, there are no left wing parties. You have the PO from Rafael Kasowski, whatever his name is. You'll see he's coming from this political party is more center to center right. And then there's Karol Nawrocki, who is from the PIS, which honestly, that's called Law and Justice. And that is a right-wing political party. Okay, so this is a more right-wing political party. And obviously this, it's a pretty interesting result because Law and Order is a pretty popular political party, despite being right-wing, more to the right than center. But of course, Poland is a country with right-wing populism. It's important to know that Poland is also a former communist country. History has proved itself as basically history has proved that countries that have formerly been communist now are democratic tend to be more conservative, more right-wing, and otherwise more far-right, in other words. But looking at those said results, you'll see that Rafal, or we're just going to call him Rafal because this is a pretty hard last name to pronounce, he only got 31.36%. I mean, let's be honest, looking at the complete and full picture of things, this was the first round. 31%. Karol Nawrocki, he got 29.54%. There's Stawamir Metzen. He's from the New Hope Party. And this is a very far-right political party. It got eliminated. But you're seeing the parties with the double digits are right-wing political parties. What about the Confederation of the Polish Crown? Oh, yeah, this is another far-right party. So Poland is a country with tons of far-right like a lot of right-wing parties. There's Third Way. That's a right-wing party. Together Party. That is a left-wing party. And that left-wing party, the Together Party, only got 4.86% popular vote. The left, which obviously follows independent Baja, or something like that, 8%. There's independent SLD. This is another left-wing political party. But yeah, you'll see the left-wing parties are all at the bottom. The right has very well dominated in Polish politics, and it looks like it's going to be that way for another 4 years because on June 1st, you're going to have to choose between two candidates. You have Rafal and Karol, going by their first names. I would rather have Karol. Reason why? I know Karol is more fitting in of American interests. We do know that former president of Poland did endorse President Trump. I think, who is the president of Poland right now? President Duda. Yes, he endorsed President Trump. And President Duda is from the Law and Order Party. He's running as an independent. And he did defeat Rafal Turovsky. And the reason why it's possible that Turovsky could, whatever his name is, could possibly win this time around. Reason why? Possibilities being he was on the ballot in 2020. his performance, not that bad. I mean, he does very well, and we've seen this from previous results, very well in the Northwest. Is it North? No, yes, Northwest. And your history people, we know that this area is where what used to be a part of Germany. The areas in orange, actually, for all the way over here, used to be a part of Germany. All the way down here and such. But, yep, those used to be German constituencies, part of the German Empire. You had this area, right here, the Silesia. That's right. This is Silesia, and it used to be very German. Not German anymore. It's very Polish. This upper and lower Silesia, and Silesia in general, is just all these areas in orange, which used to be, it's where former Prussia was founded. Prussia, Kingdom of Prussia, or used to be known as Brandenburg. Brandenburg, Prussia was founded. But then, of course, it became part of Poland, Silesia, which ultimately polified the said areas in said Europe, but areas there. But obviously, looking here, it's a pretty close result. What do you think it's going to look like? I think Raphael is probably going to win. Raphael is the mayor of Warsaw. He, of course, has name recognition. And then there's Karol Nawrocki. He's president of the INR. And INR, whatever that stands for. What's INR? I don't know. It's some sort of program. Actually, let's see. These are the eliminated candidates. We want the 2 candidates specifically. But yes, he's some president of some organization or some program or something like that. So if you, yes, here you go. President of the Institute of National Remembrance. Okay, so that's where basically he is a part of, like, works in the government. Institute of National Remembrance is like a branch of government in Poland. Okay, that makes more sense. So you got, arguably, they're kind of experienced. Karol is somewhat kind of experienced. Karol Nawrocki is kind of experienced. He represents more right-wing populist interests. So if you were to say, hey, look, which one would we root for as a channel? I would say Nawrocki. Nawrocki and his PIS party has got a little more close with MAGA. Problem is, allegedly, PIS is kind of distancing themselves. PIS and Poland itself is very different than Viktor Orban's Hungary. Reason to be justifying Poland's pro-Ukraine war stances. Poland is bordered smack by Belarus, and they have a border crisis. Not to mention, they are bordered with Kaliningrad, which is technically a part of Russia. So Poland, the Ukraine issue is really big in Poland. And despite the INR, well, no, the INR is not, but it's the PIS, Law and Order, being right-wing populist, and kind of blank with the right-wing populist, anti-woke agenda ideals, they are pro-Ukraine. And in Poland, you're gonna have to be pro-Ukraine. Every political party's gonna have to be pro-Ukraine because obviously, the Belarus is a huge threat to Poland. It's a looming threat on the border. There's a border crisis with Belarus and Poland. And to have a political party that supports Belarus, yes, Poland is a good country when it comes to free speech. I want to believe, yeah, free speech, and more of this. They have all the anti woke laws. I'm going to call it anti-woke. The left will call it anti-LGBTQ, but I'm going to call it anti-woke because that's really what it is. They're against woke indoctrination. So I support Poland. I like Poland, even though it's too neocon. It's most likely, but then again, we understand they have good reason to be. But I've been going on and on and on. There's nothing really much to talk about the results. All we have here is Rafal Tavraski, Karol Nawrocki from Law and Justice. They will be going at each other on the June 1st runoff. And of course, we will be covering that. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.